Hello, Star Wars Galaxy Hero players. This is Andy Teshorto, and today I'm doing another video on some of my what if series of what if factions or what if faction passes, like reworks. And this one's going to be Clone Troopers, as you can tell. So I'm going to go over this. This is going to be a shorter video. This is going to be part one of two. Part one being I might actually just combine it all into one, depending on the time. So. First off, we want to look and see what could be fixed in the clones themselves. By far, the only thing I can see being reworked on Rex is giving him like a clone buff setup support. Like maybe clones get some speed and some stat bonus as just an Omega or maybe a Zeta. Outside of that, I don't see his leadership ability changing because it's just as good as is. We don't want to make it better or worse. So maybe add some critical avoidance to that one, or another character I'm going to go over next, which is Fives. Fives' leadership ability easily can be fixed right off the bat. It should be 65%, not just 65. That would easily make him better. I think one of my videos I actually talked that they should just do a defense faction rework kind of thing. The reason why I say defense faction is just more of go through and change the defense to defense percentage instead of defense number like this. But yeah, this one, of course, if they do rework this, they'd also have to probably change the Omega cost. Unless the Omega is already, equipped, or they just leave it as is. But the other thing I could see, like I said, on Rex's, critical avoidance. I want to make sure I say that instead of immunity because there's difference, but critical avoidance up to 50% maybe to make this, defensive, and maybe even add like 70 or 75% defense. Maybe some other stats, defensive-based stats, I don't know. But for the most part, those are some. Maybe even adding protection or health would be great, but outside of that, Fives is great as is. He's already got his own Zeta. Doesn't need a major rework. Like Rex, like I said, Rex and Fives just needs a light overhaul. Clone Sergeant, like he's already Omega everything. Probably the only thing you'd want to rework with him is maybe just to add a little more damage, maybe, if that. I think he's still fine as is personally, but some people may be a little biased to that and say, you know what, he's not that great, he could be better. So maybe add a new unique. He is a sergeant, but he's the only clone you get outside of the other four that's in game right now. The next one is Commander Cody. He's fine as is. He does great. He has a Zeta, everything. Well, there's one thing that could be changed a little bit on him. He's, like I said, these are minor reworks, and that is the 212th attack. Get rid of the percent. These assists deal 40% less damage. They shouldn't do that at all. They did this where they took away that penalty from the Ewok, Chief Chirpa, where he called all Ewoks and one ally to assist. This one could be the same way. Now, they may have to change the cooldown maybe by one. Well, no, that it's still based on crit. So, but still, outside of that, yeah, this one can easily be changed to, get rid of the penalty. Where it'll just say, call all clone allies and one random ally to assist. Then if the assist scores a critical hit, reduce the cooldown of this ability by 1. That's all they really need to change about it to make it better. Then Echo, I'm sure they'll find something as a Zeta. But for the most part, he could use a Zeta and maybe some extra percentage of recovery, like 8 or 9%. Of their max health, and that's about it, really. Maybe have like a percent chance here on the EMP grenade to, or maybe again, since it's EMP grenade, it could go against droids or separatists. Probably more like droids. Droids are like there's like a 50% chance to stun or buff immunity against droids. That would be kind of an interesting thing. That would make them a little better, especially against droid teams if they ever come back out, whenever that'll be. And that is, the characters that I can see being reworked. Like I said, this is short, so I'm going to go ahead and go do my second part, all in this. So you'll see kind of an interesting change. So characters I'd like to, clones I'd like to see added. There's a ton of clones. There's easily a ton of clones. Like, you could just do some of the generics that are already in the game that you face. But why do that? I'd rather, have named characters in clones. Because clone troopers, there's so many more named clones than there are stormtroopers, it seems like. Especially since the new Clone Wars TV series. Well, newer, it's old now. So, the first one, we need a medic. Right off the bat, I want to say we need a healer. An actual healer. So, Kix could have like a basic blaster ability. He is a medic in the Clone Wars TV series, so it makes sense. Then he could have a cleanse and a heal ability, and then a heal and a chance to revive a clone ability. Or maybe % more chance to revive clones than non-clone allies. Or maybe it's just revive a clone, kind of like Jin does with Rebels. And then have just a unique that supports himself and maybe other clones. The next one is Wolf. Commander Wolf is a great one. Honestly, one interesting thing about this character, as well as some of the other clones, is if they ever change the appearance. Does anything, if the developers decide to do anything with appearances like helmet on, off, it's kind of like that. Wolf would be a great option for that. He would have quite a few. He has like 2 or 3 different clone helmet options from phase 1 to phase 2, as well as he would probably also have a helmet off and on. So clones would probably get the most on the look appearance. Well, outside of Sabine Wren, that changes her hair / armor all the time in Phoenix. But outside of that, there are a lot of characters that just keep their armor the same, except maybe having a helmet or not. Wolf would be great. I don't know what he would be. Tank, maybe, support, something, attacker. Now, this one's an interesting one. Yes, I'm going to get into clone commandos here in a second, but these 3 here, these 3 clones could be part of a retired clone group, which a way to unlock all 3 of them through some sort of event would be, you would need Phoenix, of course. Another way to get Phoenix, but you get a Phoenix Rex because he is considered a rebel now, as well, at least the older retired version. Even though he's not retired. So you'd get another rebel, but you get another clone as well as another Phoenix, which would add more to another character to Phoenix. And he can have a similar, not exactly the same kit, a similar kit to his regular Rex. Like, maybe he cleanses, but he doesn't do tenacity up. Maybe that's split between 2 different abilities. And then he has, his double blaster effect. Also, the aesthetic appearance with helmet on or not. Duh. That'd be great to see whenever the developers decide to do that, if and when. Also, having an ability where he actually helps. He would be a good cleanser for the Phoenix. And then have some really good unique ability that helps survivability or something, with the Phoenix, or more damage. Or maybe, he gets 20% or like 25% offense, 25% defense, and 25% critical avoidance or something. I don't know, something in that nature. Gregor would be just a clone, obviously. He wouldn't really be Galactic Republic tag. These 3 wouldn't be Galactic Republic tags. They'd just be clones. Except Rex, he'd be Phoenix and Rebels. But, or maybe just, instead of adding a Rebel, just have him as a Phoenix. That'd be interesting, even though he supports Rebels now. But Gregor, one of the things, he can have like a dual setup where he could use, in the show, he actually uses one of those long blaster rifles, like the D-17s, I think they're called. But he also uses a rocket. So he can have a special ability where he uses a rocket that's uncounterable, that fires and does splash damage to the enemy. And maybe against like the AATs, it just does a little bit more damage. So it'd be kind of similar to where Thrawn was, where Thrawn does something different with raids. And this is one thing Gregor could do, is be a split raid character. And then Wolf would just have another kit. Maybe this Wolf and the Wolf prior would just have a different form, where he'd have the old version so he may have the Galactic Republic tag. But yeah, there's a couple options there. Now then, obviously, since we have the old Gregor, why not have the Clone Commando Gregor from Clone Wars? Why not? So yes, there's another clone option. Be great to see. I've already mentioned him in a video before, talking about the D Squad, or the droid team that was used in Clone Wars, the light side droids, which would allow him to be on that team, the D Squad. Have one leader being the Colonel Meeber Gascon in the one droid that he's in. Then have R2 as a support, or you could use all of them, and then R2 would have the D Squad tag. So R2 would actually give another bonus, which would get ridiculous, but R2-D2 is that legendary to, I could see him having it. Maybe critical avoidance, maybe some speed, like 10 speed is added to allies from R2 or something. But anyways, or 10% speed, whatever. So, and that is Gregor for you. Then the next group, obviously the most famous clone commandos out there, are Delta Squadron, which is Sev, Boss, Scorch, and Fixer. Great, a great squad to play around. Maybe having, Boss would have a leadership ability. And then obviously, you could pair him, put this team under Commander Cody lead, or have him, these 4 plus Gregor. That the numbers are, obviously insane. So this would add more clone troopers to the game. Insanely amazing. So, and maybe and Scorch would definitely be a tank that does a lot of explosives, or maybe a very durable attacker with explosives or something. I don't know. So, let me know what you guys think. Well, you guys can comment below, what kits these kind of characters could have in the comments below. I'm talking about all the clones I've mentioned so far. And then the last clone commando unit, which could also have 5s in it. The, I guess you could say the android, not the android, cyborg 5s, but you got Crosshair, Wrecker, Hunter, Tech, which is Clone Force 99, or the Bad Batch from Clone Wars Bad Batch arc that wasn't fully completed, which I hope the developers would complete those. I hope Dave Filoni does a thing where gets together, completes them, and just throws them out on DVD, just to throw them out there. Because I know there's that issue with Cartoon Network or something, but I'm sure they can find a way of working it out to where they can just release it on DVD and still, name Cartoon Network, just so that fans can have more Star Wars, but also mention that Disney owns it, obviously. So, but back to this. Yes, this would be another clone commando unit that would be crazy. Of course, Wrecker would instantly be a tank. Hunter would be the attacker, so would Crosshair, and then Tech would be the support. So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about the clone what if faction pass? I would love to see this, come into fruition. Like I said, the clones that are already in the game only need minor reworks here and there. Outside of that, they're great as is. They just need some more clone support from, these teams here. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. And you guys have a wonderful day.